Welcome to News at 5, directed by Ricky and hosted by Cody. Today we'll be discussing de Tocqueville's 5 values. Alright, when de Tocqueville first arrived to America, he said that America had liberty, egalitarianism, laissez-faire, individualism, populism, and exceptionalism. And he said that America was based off these values and that it abided by everything that I listed. And for some of y'all that don't know, I'm going to define each one of these words. For liberty, it's the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life. So it's like Americans, the U.S.'s government. And egalitarianism is the equality of mankind and the desirability of political and social equality. And that's pretty much stating that America's Constitution gives each one of its citizens equal rights. And laissez-faire is saying the government should not interfere in commercial affairs, which our government does not, or it partially does, but that's what de Tocqueville said when he arrived. And individualism is saying that the habit or principle of being independent and self-reliant, which means that you can be yourself, you don't have to worry about ruining like any kind of thing. Exceptionalism is the belief that something is exceptional, especially the theory that the peaceful capitalism of the U.S. constitutes an exception to the general. It's pretty much saying that, like, if you believe that the U.S. is far more exceptional than any other country. Now I will be discussing de Tocqueville's 5 values with given examples. For liberty, we said that the 8th Amendment versus death penalty was a big issue with describing liberty because with liberty you have the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions, which means you're free to do like pretty much whatever you want in society, but there will be consequences for everyone's actions. So you can go out and kill someone and get in prison for it, but they are stating that it's cruel and unusual to get death penalty if you just killed like one person instead of a serial killer killing like hundreds. And that was our example for liberty. For egalitarianism, we said black versus white schools or segregation. And because of segregation, we said that it demonstrates that without segregation, it made everyone equal, which is what happened whenever de Tocqueville arrived to America. And for laissez-faire, we said that the mixed economy was one of our examples to demonstrate that it valued this, because our mixed economy means that the government does not interfere with any of our commercial affairs. Alright, for our example for individualism, our historical example would be the frontier. And we're doing the frontier because a person succeeded or failed on their individual effort going to the frontier, because many died on the frontier farms and forests trying to get land for themselves and so they could make it. And it was up to themselves, because individualism, as I said, as I defined it, it's the habit or principle of being independent and self-reliant. So it was their desire to go out and get land or go to the frontier, and that is why they suffered or met success. Alright, for populism, we said Occupy Wall Street was our historical example because it's going on now. People are still occupying Wall Street, and it's because populism is saying that the powers of the common people in their struggle with the privileged elite. And we're saying that Occupy Wall Street, many people feel like if they occupy it, that it will help send the message across to all the people that, like the banks on Wall Street and everything, just so they can help, because their slogan is saying like they're the 99%, and that was our historical example for that. And for which of these values seems most prominent, we said egalitarianism, because without it, then there would be no equality between races. So there would be a supreme race, if you would like to call it that. But because of egalitarianism, de Tocqueville came whenever races were like kind of separating and everyone was becoming more equal because of constitutional rights. And that's kind of what he saw, and he said that it was a good thing, and it was a good thing that America was based off that they wanted everyone to be equal. All right. And on to our next section. I'm going to define exceptionalism for y'all. And the definition of exceptionalism is the belief that something is exceptional, especially the theory that the peaceful capitalism of the U.S. constitutes an exception to the general public. And that's pretty much what all exceptionalism is. And for our opinion on the fact of exceptionalism, like, is America exceptional? We're saying that, yes, it is exceptional because it started off 13 colonies, and look at it today. It's 50 states, it's a world leader. Most countries really want to be like America, and some hate us or envy us. And that's just, we're doing a lot of great things as Americans, and that's part of what exceptionalism is saying. And to include at least one historical example that compares the United States to other countries, we said America versus China, because to do trade with China, the language for business is English. So for most people to do business worldwide, they have to know like a basis of the basic English vocab, like to hold a conversation. So to do business with China, Americans versus China, the Americans wouldn't have to learn Chinese as much as the Chinese would have to learn English, because we don't have to really do business with them, but they would have to do business with us. So they would have to be the ones to talk to us instead of the other way around. And that's the end of our news story. Until next time, this is Cody Zavala, and I'll see y'all later.